What if I told you that the most powerful person in the Gilded Age isn't a railroad tycoon, a steel magnate, or even a gilded duchess? What if it's Ida Brooke?
Yes, Ada.
The woman we've watched fade quietly into the background is now leading the household, channeling ghosts, and, believe it or not, challenging the iron will of Agnes Van Rooyen herself. But here's the twist. She might not be ready for what's coming. Because while Ada's clinging to hope, George and Bertha Russell are tearing their marriage to pieces, and Marian has stopped believing in love entirely. Tell me this isn't the most tragic season yet. And with only 2 episodes left, the biggest question remains, whose dream will survive, and whose dream will destroy them? Stick around, because once you see what Ada's really risking, you'll never look at her the same again. And the secret Bertha's hiding from George. It might not be about the Duke. It might be about revenge. It's easy to romanticize the Gilded Age, the ball gowns, the candelabras, the marble floors echoing with grace and elegance. But underneath the glimmer, everyone's losing control. Ada Brooke is grasping for spiritual closure with a ghost. George Russell is on the brink of bankruptcy. Bertha is gambling her daughter's soul for a seat beside nobility. And Marian is quietly bleeding beneath her parasol smile. This isn't about high society anymore. It's about survival, and no one's guaranteed a happy ending. So, if you care about these characters even half as much as I do, make sure you subscribe to Bureau APONT right now so you don't miss how this storm ends. Because trust me, something's coming. Let's start with Ada. For the first 2 seasons, she was sweet, passive, always playing peacemaker while Agnes ran the house like a general in corset armor. But this season, she's in charge. Officially. And her first act as matriarch wasn't to redecorate the drawing room or plan a luncheon. It was to call on a clairvoyant. Yes, you heard me right. A say ain'ts. To reach out to her dead husband Luke, whose tragic passing last season still haunts her. This isn't just grief. This is desperation. Because while Ada now holds the title of head of household, she's lost the only man who ever made her feel like more than a ghost in her own life. So when Madame Dashkova promises her a way to speak with Luke again, Ada doesn't hesitate. But here's the part no one's talking about, the say ain'ts. It's a lie. A carefully crafted illusion built on Ada's aching vulnerability. And Deborah Kampmeier, the director behind these haunting scenes, said it best. We wanted the audience to believe it might be real so that the heartbreak hits harder when it's not. So let me ask you, if someone told you they could bring back the love of your life, would you take the bait? And if your grip on power was built on hope instead of truth, what happens when the truth shatters it? Because Ada is walking into a trap. And Agnes, she sees it. She's just not saying a word. Not yet, let's open this up. Comment below, do you think Madame Dashkova actually believes in her own powers? Or is she just manipulating Ada for status and influence? Be honest. If someone offered to reunite you with a lost love, even in illusion, would you go? And if you've seen our previous breakdown on Luke's death, you'll remember we warned you. Ada's grief was never going to fade. Only transform. And now, it's transformed into something far more dangerous than mourning. It's become belief. And belief, misplaced, can burn a house down. But while Ada is chasing ghosts, the Russells are busy becoming them. George and Bertha used to be the power couple of Fifth Avenue. Unstoppable. Unified. Unapologetic. But in Season 3, they've cracked. Their ambitions aren't aligned anymore. Bertha wants the Duke, not for herself of course, not publicly, but through Gladys, her daughter, her pawn. Her echo. George just wants his daughter to be happy. And that's the heartbreaking twist. Because while Bertha sees aristocracy as legacy, George sees it as betrayal. Episode 2 gave us the line of the season. I just want to know when I get a say in our daughter's life. And Bertha, she spits back, the day I'm in your boardroom. Think about that. That isn't a marriage. That's a war. Let me say something personal here. I've admired George Russell for a long time. Yes, he's ruthless in business. Yes, he's built his fortune on iron and steel and stubbornness. But when it comes to Bertha, he's always let her lead, always let her shine. And now, she's chosen a duke over her own husband. Not in bed, but in battle. Because let's face it, this isn't about Gladys. This is Bertha's dream. Bertha's fantasy. Bertha's second chance at becoming the woman she never got to be. Kampmeier herself called it, Bertha's projecting her teenage self onto her daughter. And suddenly everything makes sense. The dresses, the desperation, the dinner parties with nobles who sneer behind fans. Bertha isn't chasing status, she's chasing time, trying to rewind her clock using her daughter's life as the dial. Now tell me that isn't chilling. Look, I'm not saying Bertha needs therapy, but if I had $1 for every time she tried to force Gladys into marriage with a smug aristocrat, I could probably buy my own mansion on Fifth Avenue. George, buddy, just take the boardroom. Let Bertha keep the drawing room. You'll both be happier. But in all seriousness, who do you side with? Drop a comment. Team Bertha, status over sentiment. Team George, family over fortune. And if you're Team Agnes, you're just here for the drama. And I respect that. But let's not forget the most tragic arc of all. Marian Brooke. She's opened her heart 3 times now, and each time it's been crushed.
Tom Rakes, a fraud.
Dashiell, a safe bet that fizzled. And Larry Russell, the one man she might have trusted, blew it all with one visit to a place called the Haymarket. What really happened there? Why did Marian shut down so fast? And is this finally the moment she becomes more like Agnes than she ever feared? We're diving deep into Marian's final heartbreak in page 2. So don't go anywhere, because next, we uncover how the Gilded Age turned its gentlest character into its most emotionally guarded.